Once again, I open my big mouth, and you guys try to get me in trouble. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
It's a me,
Dario!
Woohoo! Let's go!
Alright, so this is gonna be... I got a lot to go through, and you guys threw me a lot of landmines. There's a lot of mines that were thrown around today. I'm getting to see that these segments are just basically me trying to figure out a way to dodge certain landmines. Not all of them. Some of them are really fun questions. But, son of a bitch, a few of these are... it's going to be tricky. For the record, I did not go through any of these before. I perused them really quickly because I took snapshots of all the questions that you sent me. And so, by the way, I'm going to be answering questions. Yesterday on my Instagram, I put up a story saying that ask me anything, right? They can ask me anything and I will answer it. So in those, it was a mistake, by the way. I did it a few weeks ago where I just left the blank. This time I left it open, and I didn't even want to see. I didn't even want to see what you were posting there. So, oh God, I quickly perused it today because I want to take a snapshot before the thing timed out and the questions disappeared. And, damn, a lot of, okay, maybe just a few of them popped out. Maybe just a few popped out that I was like, God damn it, landmine. Some of them personal, some of them, like, social landmines. But I'll navigate them as best as I can. But first off, let me give you, before I get into this, let me just give you a quick reminder. You can find the podcast in the iHeartRadio app. You can type in the show presents, Super Dario World. You'll find it right there. Or you can go on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Just type in the Super Dario World podcast to find it right there. Any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can always reach me at Dario the Show on Instagram. And, okay, let's get started with this. Okay, first question. By the way, this segment came about because I put up an open question, ask me anything, on my Instagram story. And these are all your questions. I'm going to read every single one. Maybe I'll skip one or two that are the same question, just worded differently. But this is my first time actually reading through them. I only did a quick peruse while I was doing the screenshots, but this is my first time actually reading them, okay? So, first question. Did you ever find the name of the RPG Marvel game that Eddie played when he was younger? This is a question based off of Eddie's first appearance on my podcast. He mentioned that he played kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons type game, but it was Marvel characters. And actually, to answer your question, yes, I did. And not only did I find it, I bought it. I bought it in the expansion. Why? Because I love board games, and it sounded like a fun game. And the name of the game is Marvel Superheroes, the heroic role-playing game. And fun fact, I love board games, and board games really have a great resale value. Like, they retain their value, like, by a lot. So I remember a few years ago, I bought a game that was discontinued. It was, what's the name? It'll come StarCraft. The StarCraft board game made by Fantasy Flight. And let's say I bought it for $100 new. And right now the resale value is like $200 and used. So it's great. Since it was discontinued, now it's technically a collector's item. So it has a great resale value. So if anybody of you is thinking of buying certain things to invest, well, the board games retain their value pretty well. Next question. If you were able to remake a film, what would it be? Ooh, interesting question. In general, I don't like reboots or remakes, unless they were just, well, okay, I don't like reboots or remakes, usually of good movies. There's a few movies that were just bad, and and so I wouldn't mind maybe actually making like a good version of a certain movie. Now, off the top of my head, I can't think of any. I'm trying to think of any book that I read that the movie just sucked. It was terrible. Well, the Twilight books were terrible. Oh, okay, The Hunger Games. The first movie was bad. The book was really good. The movie was bad. The second one was okay, but I wouldn't reboot that. I think it was fine. It's also way too soon for that. I don't know. I'm going to have to think on this one a little bit, just because my first instinct is just to leave reboots alone, I mean, I'm rewriting the end of Game of Thrones, right? I'm doing that. I do it every Monday. I do a rewrite of Game of Thrones. I think I would do something like that. Like if I could, like Game of Thrones movies. Oh no, it's too complex. It would be too complex. Damn it! This is a tough question. Off the top of my head, I would go with... No, Dune's already being remade. And also, Dune wasn't that bad. I really enjoyed Dune. Damn, this is a really hard one. I'm going to have to think about this one a little bit. But off the top of my head, I'm just going to say The Hunger Games. Because the first movie was bad. Overall, well, it's not even trilogy because it was 4 movies. But overall, they were fine. It's just that the first movie was really bad. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna read it verbatim. If you had to pick a movie remake, which one could it be? So it's the same question, only my friend decided to write it as an a-hole because he knew that I was gonna read it that way. I think I just answered this question, so I'm gonna skip it. Next question. When are you gonna take Thor's spot on the show? You're funnier. First off, thank you. I agree. Second off, I don't think I'm ever going to take Thor's spot. Thor does something that I don't think I can do. He's an amazing heel. He can piss off people like it's nobody's business. Thor is kind of like, heel. If I'm going to keep the same metaphor, he's like Kurt Angle. He's out there chugging milk and something. He's pissing people off. He's not a good guy. He's a heel. He's hateable. Me, I think I'm more of the Stone Cold guy. I go out there. I cost my trouble. I do my own thing. I pop a few beers. I ask drunk people trivia. I think it's very different. Kurt Angle can't do what Stone Cold did. Stone Cold can't do what Kurt Angle did. One was super hateable, and it's a skill. It's a skill being that hateable, and he enjoys it. Like, he enjoys it. Thor is an amazing troll sometimes, so I could never take over that spot. My sense of humor, my style, the way I do things is very, very different. I know that I cannot compete in being that annoying or obnoxious or pissing people off on that level. So, in that sense, I'm never going to take over Thor. Also, it's more likely for me to leave the show than for Thor to leave the show, just because when opportunities pop up, for me to take over the show, that means that one of two things need to happen. Either Thor gets his own show and moves up somewhere, or, I don't know, maybe Thor relapses. and he gets fired or something, and then it's okay. Like, I'd be next man up, maybe. I don't know. Probably. But, it's more likely for me to leave because I can go and explore other stuff, and I have other things that I'm trying to do, and I'm not really tied down anywhere. So it's far more likely for me to take off than for Thor to take off. At least that's what I think. Next question. You come to Comic-Con? Yes, I will come to Comic-Con, but I won't be for the broadcast. I'm guessing you're asking because the morning show is there. Every year at Comic-Con, they do a morning broadcast from the Omni Hotel, from the lobby of the Omni Hotel. I'm not going to be there because I have to be running the show. They're over there doing the show. I'm over here in studio running the show, which sucks for me. But I will be at Comic-Con afterwards doing a whole bunch of press stuff for interviews and other stuff for shows and stuff, which I think is way better. Honestly, I think it's way more fun. But don't tell them I said that. Next question. This one's in Spanish, so I'm going to read it in Spanish and then I'll translate it. This is one of those questions that it's just... My friends figured out that they could just be a-holes with me on this one, but all right, I'll play along. Okay, ¿Por qué no fuiste a Culiacán? Now, that translated means, why didn't you go to Culiacan, which is a city in Mexico? Now, the reason why this person is asking that question is because a friend of mine, his kid, had a baptism, and we were all invited to go. I said I wasn't going to go, and this friend pretty much said that he had a ticket for me, and I had to go, blah, blah. Now, I remember very clearly what I said. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, I did not even remember it was this weekend. I've been crazy busy doing stuff. I've been crazy busy doing stuff. But anyway, the reason why is because I told you, dude, remind me. Remind me of this later, because when you told me, we were drinking. And I remember that I said, I'll think about it. And obviously I didn't, because you didn't remind me. So I didn't go because you didn't remind me. That's the answer. Plain and simple. Next question, and it's another one in Spanish. ¿Por qué te sigues juntando con Gil? Loosely translated is, why do you keep hanging out with Gil? Now, if you've listened to the podcast a few times, Gil is my buddy who I watch Game of Thrones with. And in a big sense, our relationship, our friendship is based off of Game of Thrones. Like, the first time we met, we just started talking about the books, and he was the only person I'd met so far that also read the book. So our friendship started off because of that. So the real answer to that, of why am I still friends with Gil, it's because I can do whatever the fuck I want. I can have anybody I want as a friend. That is my immediate answer. The real answer is because we still have things in common. He's been a faithful, loyal friend to me, and Gil is kind of an a-hole sometimes to people, and I find that hysterical. So, I mean, I don't see any reason why you should ever lose a friend unless they actually do something to you. He's never done anything bad to me. He's always been loyal. Sometimes he's a little annoying, but that's when I tell him, you're being annoying, shut the fuck up. And either he keeps doing it or he stops so far. So, but my real answer is I can be friends with whoever I want. So, stuck on it. Anyway, next question. Let's see. Okay. Do schnoozeberries really taste like schnoozeberries? I've never tasted a schnoozeberry. And I'm not exactly sure what they are off the top of my head, but I'm going to say yes. Sure, why not? Anyway, next question. Without considering money, what would you cosplay as at Comic-Con and why? Interesting question. Now, I've learned this. I enjoy cosplay from time to time, and by that I mean I like putting on costumes for Halloween. I love costumes, love Halloween, my favorite holiday. Let me think about that, because I just said that off the top of my head. Yes, my favorite holiday, because you get to drink, you get to dress up, it's fantastic. You get to be childish. It's great. On Comic-Con, I learned this last year, I think, a few years ago when I was going to do the press thing, and I considered doing cosplay, and I can do a legit, and I mean legit, Joker from The Dark Knight, the costume where the beginning of the movie when he's robbing the bank, the clown mask, with the makeup, the hair, the jacket. I can do that one legit, 100% legit. That almost looks like it's what they use in the movie. So I can do that one, and I really like it. However, San Diego summertime mask, jacket, long sleeves, gloves, not a good idea. So to me, it's not really a matter of money. It's more of comfort. And it's really putting on a costume during Comic-Con. It's a drag. You're going to be all sweaty. So I'd pick something where I'm, a little bit free, a little bit, showing off a little skin maybe. And that probably that covers up my face. Because when you're going to use a costume, I like covering up my face. It just seems fun. So let's see. Off the top of my head, because there's one character that I want to do this year for Halloween. One. I'm not going to say which one it is because I might do it. But let me see. Where my arms are free and for something, and I don't know. Maybe Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. Yeah, something simple. Your arms are out. You're wearing a mask. You can walk around. You can do anything. You do a lot of some weird poses with people. I think that'd be easy. Simple, straightforward. Yeah, I'd probably do that. Next question. What's my favorite romantic comedy? I mentioned this before. I don't know if it's a rom-com, but to me, it's my favorite rom-com. Because to me, it's a rom-com. It's probably more of a teen thing, but I don't care. 10 Things I Hate About You. I love 10 Things I Hate About You. It's based off of Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew. We got Heath Ledger, Julia Stiles, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's hysterical, and I love that movie. Anyway, moving on. How much longer do you plan to remain on the show? I'm sorry, I read that wrong. How much longer do you plan on remaining on the show? That's an interesting question. How much longer? Because I don't really plan it. I'm planning on just going with the flow. And I adapt to certain things. Like right now, I'm very happy because it gives me an opportunity to work on this podcast. And It perfects some skills. It gives me access to a lot of things. And once I get my shit together and can produce the video of this podcast as well as I can do the audio, then I will be somebody who can do like a 10-person job in a day. Like I don't know if you've done the math, but a lot of people who do podcasts and stuff, they have teams of like 10 people. You need a producer, talent, researcher, editor. Some people have makeup, lights, all this stuff, cameraman, sound recorder. So I'd be the producer, talent, editor, host. Well, yeah, that's talent. Research. I do everything. And some people, they do one podcast a week. I'm doing 5 a week. I'm doing 1 a day. So once I get that down, I feel like my resume is going to be really beefed up. Because I was looking for stuff, and then with Comic-Con, when I got announced, I was like, all right, okay, I won't worry about that. And I got a few opportunities to try out different things or to go to New York and do stuff. But I mentioned this before. I don't want to go to New York. I don't like New York. And what they offered me more in money, I would be spending. Like, imagine they gave me they pay me out. We'll pay you 3 times more. But it would cost me 5 times more to live in New York. So mathematically, it didn't really make any sense. So far, the best option for me is the show right now. And I'm open to opportunities, but I'm not really actively looking. After Comic-Con, after I get my video things done, once I feel like my skills are worthy of putting it in my resume, like, yeah, I can do this, and this, I can create this by myself with minimal budget. These are the skills. This is what I can produce, and this is the quantity of material that I can give you by myself daily. Now, put me in a part of somebody else's team, give me a budget, or give me a team on my own, and you can only imagine what I can bring you. So I'm not really too concerned about it. I've never really been concerned about getting another job or something. When it happens, it happens. Right now, I'm comfortable. So I don't really have a plan on when I'm going to leave, but it's going to happen eventually. I don't really have a plan for it. It'll just happen when it happens. And when either the right opportunity comes along, or I don't know, maybe they start appreciating my skills here more and they move me up for something else. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. Like I said, don't have a real plan for it. Next question. Are you joining the show during the Comic-Con broadcast, or are you doing your own thing? I think I already answered this one. I'm going to be running the show for the broadcast from here, so I won't be there, and then afterwards I'm going to be doing my own thing. So, well, it's not my own thing. It's the iHeart Media thing. But so I think that answers that. Next question. If you found out you had Jedi powers, would you join the light or the dark side? Ooh, interesting. See, because, okay, I have a lot of issues with both sides. The Jedi, I don't like the whole celibacy thing. I think that's stupid. I get the reasons for it, but I think it's stupid. On the other side, the Sith side, I don't like the fact that it's only a master and an apprentice. It's like you're guaranteed that your only friend or something is gonna kill you. It's pretty much a guarantee. Like the person you're gonna train the person who's going to kill you eventually, or betray you at least. I don't like either of those things. So, off the top of my head, well, I'd go rogue. Honestly, I'd do my own thing. Because I don't feel like I fit any of those molds. But just because I don't want to... That whole thing of not even being able to sleep comfortably because the person who's closest to you in your training might kill you, that seems just nuts to me. So I'd go with Jedi just for that. Nothing beats a good night's sleep. And I don't feel like the Sith are ever capable of sleeping without having half an eye open. So just because of that, I'd go with Jedi. Next question is, do you think that the women's soccer team should be paid as much as the men? Now, this is one of those landmines that I noticed earlier before. Mathematically speaking, no. And I read this stat earlier, and this is what my answer is based off of. In 2018, the men's FIFA got from the Men's World Cup won $6 billion. Okay? In 2019, FIFA won like around $130 million from the Female World Cup. So if I have an employee who makes me $6 billion and I have an employee who makes me $130 million, there is no chance in hell that I'm going to pay them the same. No chance in hell. Regardless of gender, regardless of age, regardless of anything, you pay people according to what they make you. Any job you're going to get hired, if they're willing to pay you $100 an hour, it's because they expect to make $1,000 an hour off of you. So, if you are making a company $100 per hour of work, and you're expecting them to pay you $150 of hour, $150 an hour for your work, that doesn't fly. It doesn't fly, not even a little bit. Because I'm going to have to double check this real quick. So I'm just going to rant a little. Because I believe, off the top of my head, I think that overall, the men's soccer team, like the prize money that they divided up between all the teams and all the players was around $450 million. And that means that in order for they made $6 billion and they're getting paid, all of them combined, $450 million. Let's just say that, because I think it's around that number. That means that if the women's teams made $130 million overall, and they want to be paid $450 million, that's insane. The company FIFA would be losing 3 times the money. Well, 2 times the money. It doesn't make any mathematical sense. Now, there's a lot of arguments that could be made on either side, but to me, just mathematically, it doesn't make sense. If you want to get paid more money, you need to earn your employer you need to make them more money, or you can make your own league. That's what a lot of people do. It's like, you don't want to pay me more? I'll make my own league. Does it work out? Sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. So, yeah, to me, just that whole thing is just weird. Is it great that they're champions? Yes. Should people be watching more female soccer? That way FIFA makes more money. That way they make more money? I don't know. Because, I mean, it's everybody's choice. You can choose what sport you watch. You can choose whatever. People are free to watch the Female World Cup. They were free to do it. They just chose not to. So, I don't know. To me, it just seems weird. And mathematically, doesn't make any sense. So, thank you for that, Landmine, you a-hole. Anyway, moving on. What panel are you most excited for during CC 2019? Interesting question. There's a lot that I've been going through. There's a few that I might get. There's some. But overall, I have to say that the one I just want to know what the hell the new Game of Thrones project is going to be. I want to know what it is. I want to know what the prequel is going to be about. So if they have a teaser of it or something, that'd be great, because I just want to see if it's going to be good or not. Honestly, I want to see if it's going to be good or not. So probably that one. Next question. Where's my package? Now, for those of you who listened to the podcast last week, or was it this week? I don't even fucking remember. I think it was this week. I don't know. I kind of lost my shit a little bit because of a missing package in my apartment. So this is my brother asking for his stupid package. Oh, yeah, it was this week. It still feels like a lifetime ago. Anyway, I don't fucking know where your fucking package is. Leave me alone. I tried my best. It's not my fault. Next question. In Spanish again, ¿Ya te gusta la música Tremonti? Like, do you enjoy the music of Tremonti now? Now, a friend of mine has been pestering me to listen to a band called Tremonti, it was created by the guitarist Mark Tremonti, who was the lead guitarist in both Creed and Alter Bridge. Great musician. Love both of those bands. Yes, I've been listening to it, Ernie, and yes, I have enjoyed the music. So, there you go. Next question. Would you do a Dario World episode completely in Spanish? I considered that. I considered it at first. When I first started the podcast, I considered, I'll just do 2. One will be Super Dario World Podcast. The other one will be Super Dario World Podcast en Español. So it would be pretty much the same thing, but in Spanish. Or I could do different things, separate things. I don't know. But once I realized how difficult it was to first get the skill to do the... to properly produce the first one, I decided, you know what? Maybe that I can put like a little, on it. I can just put a pin on that one. But I would totally do it eventually, and it depends on the topic. Like if I'm interviewing somebody who I know speaks better in Spanish and the topic is super interesting, then I might do it in Spanish. Sure, why not? Though the majority of my audience is in English, so I'd have to do one in English and then the same one in Spanish probably. And next question. If you had to choose between marrying forever Emily or Sky, who would you pick and why? This is a interesting question. Interesting question. Oh God, Okay, let me think about that one. For those of you who don't know, Sky and Emily, they're members of the show that I work for, Rock 105.3's morning show, the show. Very different people. Very, 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 very different people. Now, let me see. I'm trying to think, like, sexually, Sky's a prude and a camel and doesn't like having sex. Emily is a perv and likes doing it everywhere. Sky is a hardcore lefty and obsessive about it. Emily, I don't really know where she stands on most things. Sky doesn't eat anything. Emily's a cook. So far, I think Emily's winning. Just off of those things. Emily's crazy. Sky's also crazy. So I believe it's just different types of crazy. So, oh wait, Sky's an anti-vaxxer. As far as I know, Emily's vaccinated as kid. So it would be hard both ways. It would be very difficult. But I'd probably go Emily. Just based off of the food thing. Just based off of the food. Because you'd get free food. Well, not really free food, but you'd get like a kick-ass meal every day. Plus, I think that she'd be okay with, bringing another girl into the mix. So it wouldn't just have to be Emily. So I think that could work. Anyway, next question. Where's your next trip going to be? Where do you recommend visiting? Okay, so it's a two-part question. Where's your next trip going to be, and where do you recommend visiting where you've been? Okay, some people, write questions properly. Anyway, where's my next trip going to be? I want to go to Russia. I really, really want to go to Russia and check out a few of the other countries nearby, like Poland, the Ukraine. Also want to go to Italy, and I would like to go to New Zealand. But right now, off the top of my head, I say Russia. If I have to pick any of those, I'd just say Russia. If I can sneak the Ukraine and Poland in, great. And I'd probably plan it for it to be that way. Maybe even Iceland. I don't know, like a few days in Iceland and then the other ones. Off the top of my head. Where do I recommend visiting from where you've been? I've been to a few pretty great places because I know how to plan my trips. Honestly, Japan. Japan is probably the best food I've ever eaten. The chicken that they sell at the fucking 7-Eleven Family Mart is the best fucking chicken I've had in my life. Just simple fried chicken is the best that I've ever had. I have no idea what they put in it, if it's because it has less chemicals or because it has more, but it is amazing. I daydream about that chicken sometimes. But yeah, it's a very interesting country because it's it's kind of a racist country. It's kind of xenophobic. The only place in my life where I've ever been discriminated for because of race is in Japan. Like literally, there's places where you walk in and they'll just do like they say no in Japan, but if they do like a cross sign right in front of them, like an X, that basically means like fuck no. They don't say no. I don't remember how they say no. It's not hi, I think. But if they do a cross sign in front of them, that basically means fuck no, back off. Because Japanese people are really polite, but when they do that, it means that fuck off. And so I remember walking into a few restaurants and them going like, hi gaijin, and doing the cross, or walking into a bar and they'd be like, hi gaijin. Gaijin means foreigner, by the way. So no foreigners and the cross. No foreigners and the cross. So it's really weird. It's the only place where I've ever actually experienced racism. And I don't care. It's their own country. They're gonna. I mean, you have the right to refuse service to whoever you want. And I mean, you're the one losing money. But I had the best time. I had an amazing time. It's a beautiful country. The people are phenomenal. It's great. They're really funny. I really like their culture, minus the racism and the xenophobia. But it's the closest I've been to anywhere that it feels like you're in another world. Like you don't feel like you are in. Well, I was gonna say in America anymore, but yeah, you don't. Well, in the West, you feel like, and you're not even like in the East. You feel like you're somewhere else. There's so many bright lights. There's so much cartoons everywhere. It's weird. Everywhere you look at, there's something interesting. So I'd highly recommend Japan. I had a great time over there. I'd like to go again eventually, but first I got a few other places that I want to knock off my bucket list before I get there. So I'd recommend Japan. Next question. From all the times you've done Bomb at the Beach, have you ever gotten into hot water with a drunk? Interesting question. I'm not exactly sure. Like, nobody's ever really been a jerk to me, but I think that's because just I'm a polite person. However, there was this one situation that happened. It was in Pacific Beach, and I'd done Bombed at the Beach with a girl, and then I started chatting with a friend, and her friend told me very specifically. She said she was single. I don't remember why, because I don't usually ask if people are single. I feel like that's something that they should let you know. To me, I've always thought that if you're flirting with somebody, that person should be the one to tell you if they're single or not. If they don't tell you that, you assume that they're single. So, but she specifically said that she was single, and so she had like a tank top and another shirt over the tank top, but the shirt was open, and the shirt kind of like went off her shoulder, and so. I don't know why that really bugs me. I feel like you can't move your arms or something, so it looked uncomfortable. And I asked her, "Hey, do you mind if I just fix this?" She's like, "Yeah." And so I fixed her shirt, and then I don't know, right from behind her, a guy came up and she's like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing?" I was like, "What?" Like, "Yeah, what the fuck are you doing? Don't stop touching my girl." And I was like, "I was helping her with your shirt." And wait, what do you mean your girl? Like, "Yeah, what the fuck are you doing? We're touching my girl, blah blah." And I was like, but she said she was single. And at that time, both of us looked at where the girl was standing. She was gone. Girl was gone. So, so the guy just turns to me. He says something snarky. I don't remember what. I was drinking. But he said something snarky like, "Fucking you better just stay the fuck away from her." And I was like, she left. So I turned around, and I kept doing what I was doing because I wasn't going to move from the bar. And this was a dude who was slightly younger than me, I think. I'd say around 23, 25. But he looked like he worked out. He was kind of a bigger dude. Or maybe he was on steroids. I don't know. Anyway, so a while back, afterwards, I kept talking with the girl who I did Bombed at the Beach with because we found that funny. I kept drinking there. And then the guy and the girl, they come back. And the guy asked me, like, what the fuck did you tell him? And she was like, "What? Nothing." And he's like, "Oh." And then he just to me like, "What the fuck did she tell you? Did she say she was single? What the fuck did she tell you?" And to me, I immediately just like put my hands up like, "Dude, I'm not getting in the middle of this one. All right? No, this is your problem. I'm here. Just, I don't give a fuck. This is your issue." And I turn around, I keep having my drink. Now, at that point, this guy, I was wearing, I have a necklace that I wear sometimes. It's basically, I got it in Japan. It's a Keyblade. It's the Keyblade Oblivion. For those of you who played Kingdom Hearts, you know what it is. It's basically, it's like a key. Imagine basically a key. So I have a key, and a necklace that's a key, and I was wearing it at that time. And so the guy really just looked at me like, and he was like, what the fuck? You're wearing a fucking key? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, what? Are you a fucking faggot or something? And my answer to that was like, what? Why are keys gay? I don't get it. And why were you why were you upset that she was talking to me if I had a key? And according to you, that makes me faggot. So the guy's like, just shut the fuck up. And he turns around and keeps yelling at her. I just turned around and I kept laughing with the other girl who was there because we both did not understand what was so wrong about keys. And why does keys Anyway, at that point, afterwards, I just remember hearing something like, oh, fine, whatever, just go fucking talk to him if you want. And the dude storms off. Then, so the girl just saunters back to the bar because her friend was there, and she was there next to me. So she just saunters there, and we do one of those kind of looks like, geez, and she's like, right? Yeesh. I don't remember what comment we made, but it had to be something like, that was rough, whatever. While we were doing that, the dude comes back, puts his head in between us. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, we're trying to figure out why keys are gay. And that's it. And then he just took her and left. So I don't know what happened to her. Hopefully she's fine. But yeah, that's the closest I've ever gotten to getting in trouble. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing. At one point, the dude just kind of like pointed. There was another group of dudes there, and he talked to them, and he kind of like pointing at me. I didn't give a fuck. I wasn't like I was at a bar in PB. I was for those of you who've been to the PB Short Club, the bar in the back. I was the one. It's right near the exit. So right near the exit, there's like 2 security guards. So if anybody of them is gonna start shit, they're gonna get kicked out here super immediately. So it's like I didn't really give a fuck, and I wasn't doing anything wrong. So I don't know. People are insecure. So that's the closest I've ever gotten to getting in trouble with a drunk during Bombed at the Beach. I learned that keys are gay apparently. So I mean, I figured it'd be too much to point out that he probably had keys in his pocket right then, and he needs them to open his house. But whatever, keys, man. Yeesh. Next question. How would someone get a job as an international phone screener? Interesting question. Well, first off, you need to be international. I would start there. If you're not international, you're off to a bad start, which means that you have to have lived at least in 2 different countries, preferably travel to multiple of them, and either speak or understand several languages. That's the first key, the international part. You have to actually be international, and you have to have friends in different countries, stuff like that, and maybe have committed 1 or 2 crimes in other countries just for fun, to keep things interesting, to make you an interesting person. The second part, I'm not sure how things work now, because before, I can tell you how I did it. I was driving in my car on my way to school one day, listening to the show, and I heard them say that, like, oh, we're looking for interns for anybody who wants to apply, blah, blah. So I was like, you know what? I could use an internship. So I sent them an email. They gave me an interview, and then I was hired as an intern. Then iHeartMedia killed off the whole internship program because one intern was suing because they weren't getting paid, which unpaid internship means that you're getting paid with school credits, but whatever. It counts as a class, and plus you're getting a whole bunch of benefits. You're getting, first off, access, real-world experience, resume experience, making contacts. You usually get letters of recommendation, so you can get a whole bunch of stuff. And so you get that. And that's how I did it. Now that we don't have the internship program, honestly, I think you have to try to get hired in our promotions department and work your way up from there. That's what I would do. Like, if I had to do it now, and that's when people ask me, that's usually the recommendation I give them. Start in promotions, work your way up. Eventually, hopefully you'll get something. Hopefully. Anyway, next question. What's your guilty pleasure TV show or movie? Ooh, interesting question. Okay. I love teen dramas. I love them. I don't know why. I have a weakness for teen dramas. Call it The OC, call it 90210, call it Dawson's Creek, call it Riverdale. I love a good teen drama. So even Gilmore Girls. I don't know why. For some reason, I enjoy girly shows sometimes. I find them funny. I think it's because I find women interesting. I find women really interesting, and I really try to understand some of the things of why they're doing it. And I remember watching Gilmore Girls. Back in the day, me and my sister, we both watched a few similar shows. And so she'd watch it in her room, I'd watch it in mine, and then in the commercial breaks, we'd get up when something crazy happens. We'd get up and we'd talk about it in the hallway. Like, did you see that? Oh my god! So I don't know. I guess I find women interesting, and all that stuff. I've always found it interesting. So probably teen dramas. I'd go with a good teen drama would be my guilty TV guilty pleasure. Next question. do you watch Westworld? What are your thoughts on the show and predictions for season 3? I did start Westworld. I started season 1. I went about halfway through it, and then I stopped because I believe it was around the time when I got my first opportunity to do things at Comic-Con. And so I was like, they just bombarded me with a whole bunch of shows that I had to watch. So I was like, okay, well, I need to put this one on pause and continue with the other ones. And so after that, I picked up a whole bunch of other shows because of it, because I saw a bunch of really good things. And then season 2 came out, and a lot of people were saying that it was weird, it wasn't as good. So I was like, you know what? At this point, I kind of just gave it up. So maybe I'll pick it up again eventually. But so far, I like the premise. There's just a few kind of big plot holes that don't make any sense. So, I don't know. I enjoyed it. It's really well made. But I have issues with robots. I've said that before. I'll say it again. I have issues with AI and robots in general. So, anyway, next question. Have you ever been bit on the butt by a spider and screamed like a little girl? Well, I'm sorry. I added little. It's just screamed like a girl. Not that I recall. Honestly, I don't think I've ever been bitten by a spider that I noticed. Like while it was happening, I've noticed afterwards, like, oh, I got a spider right here. But I don't think I've ever been bitten in the butt by one that I noticed. So the answer to that is no. Now, have I been bitten by something that was painful? An interesting question. Probably just the dog. I've been really lucky there. I had a lion try to bite me once, but fortunately, my reflexes were a little bit faster than the lion's. I'll share that story some other time. It's part of the reason why I say that they don't give a fuck about security in Argentina. Well, safety in Argentina, because they do have security. They just don't care about your safety. Anyway, next question. Are you cosplaying for Comic-Con this year? I believe I already answered it, but no. Way too hot, man. It's way too hot. It's for me to be... Also, if I cosplay, it would probably be as the Joker, because it's the best one I have. And that whole wearing a mask while interviewing people, not good for the audio. Not good for the audio at all. And I think these are the last two. Okay. Why are you not going today? Okay. So, my friends, if you remember me saying this earlier, I missed the baptism of one of my best friend's kids. And so apparently they're doing something today for him. And I RSVP'd, no, I'm not going to be able to make it. I have so much TV to watch, and that's work for me. I have too many TV shows to watch. They added, and I know, boo-hoo, poor me, my life's so hard. But they added 3 more TV shows to my list, which some of them are great, by the way. It's phenomenal. I wish I could say what I might be getting. It's great. It's phenomenal. It's nuts. Anyway, so yeah, it's honestly because of that. I don't have time. Like unfortunately, I already have plans for Saturday for I'm going to be going to the Reptile Super Show, so I'm already going to be burning that day. Tuesday is my father's birthday, so on Sunday I think that we're going to do something for him. So that's either one of those days I'm going to be burning another day there. So I just there's too much on my plate, and unfortunately something's got to give. Something's got to give. So sorry. Next question. Why do the guys from the show make fun of you having an accent? I've actually been asked this question before, and first they make fun of me for having an accent because we make fun of everything. That's kind of our jam. It's what we do. It's what the show does. They make fun of everything. They don't give a rip, and it's part of it. It's all in good fun. It's not necessarily to be mean. Then I think that they make fun of me having an accent. It's because I do have a slight one. It's slight. And now I have another person who mentioned this before, like, dude, I don't hear you having an accent. I don't see it. So why do they keep making fun of that? Well, you have to understand, these people work with audio. They've been working with audio for decades. Some of them. So decades, legit decades. So their ears are kind of trained for it. They notice some nuances, some more details than normal people do. Like some details even more than I do. And so I think that's why they just noticed something kind of weird there, and they exaggerated to make fun of it because it's funny. It's all in good fun. It's not like they're trying to put me down or anything. So that's why, I think, because they're going to make fun of anything no matter what, and I'm going to make fun of anything no matter what. So that's the rules of the game, baby. That's the rules of the game I play by. So that's it. I double-checked to make sure there wasn't any other questions. That's it for today. Thank you for everybody who sent me a question. F you to all of those of you who sent the landmines on purpose. I know who you are because most of them are my friends and you're a-holes. But, that's why I like you guys. Anyway, or gals. You don't know. Anyway, so that's it for today. That's it for the whole week. I'm done. I got to go and watch more TV. My brain is fried, man. Seriously, right? I feel like a super uninteresting person because the only thing I've done for the last few weeks is watch TV. I love this time of year and I hate it. I love it and I hate it. But anyway, that's it. That's it for today. Next Monday, I will continue with the Game of Thrones podcast. I'm not Game of Thrones podcast. The Game of Thrones rewrite. And that's it. Any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can always find me at Dario the Show. At Dario the Show. I'm burnt out. My brain burnt out, so that's it. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great weekend.